Louis Armstrong is an American pioneer. His contributions to music have been irrefutable. But perhaps this smiling man does have a darker side. Louis Armstrong was born on... Hold up. You're telling me the lies start this early? Okay. So, Louis Armstrong claimed to be born on July 4th, 1900, throughout his life. However, he was really born on August 4th, 1901. He was born in New Orleans to William Armstrong and Mary Alberton. Louis Armstrong was raised in a few different homes, like his grandmother's, while he grew up, but was always treated with love. Despite his upbringing, Louis Armstrong would drop out of school and start getting into more and more trouble. On one occasion, Armstrong stole a gun from his stepfather and shot it in the air. On December 31st, 1912, he would be arrested for these actions and tried and put into detention the next day. While in detention, Armstrong was still allowed to practice music, and, after being taught some fundamentals from Peter Davis, joined a band. His talent attracted the gaze of Kid Ory and other famous musicians in the area. Once released, Armstrong sought work as a musician, among other things. His first job was at a dance hall owned by Henry Ponce, an organized crime leader. And Armstrong would also indulge in crime again. He pimped for a prostitute named Nutsi. Funny enough, she stabbed Armstrong in the shoulder, and his mother nearly choked her to death. Perhaps it was for the best for Armstrong. The famed Joe King Oliver also taught him. Oliver was a member of Kid Ory's band. Armstrong was performing at the Brick House in Gretna, Louisiana, when he met Daisy Parker, a local prostitute. He started an affair as a client. Armstrong would be married a total of 4 times throughout his life. Lucky enough, Armstrong would continue on music as his focus and not crime. Armstrong would strike out, playing on brass bands and riverboats in New Orleans. When Joe King Oliver resigned from Kid Ory's band, Armstrong would take his place. They jazzed out for a while, but in 1922, Armstrong moved to Chicago at the invitation of King Oliver. Here his career really took off. Oliver's band was among the most influential jazz bands in Chicago in the early 1920s. The city had jobs for blacks, making good wages at factories with some left over for entertainment. Armstrong lived luxuriously in his own apartment. Oliver was able to graft and reap a lovable rags-to-riches story from Armstrong, but eventually it would be more profitable for Armstrong to continue growing in fame by himself. Armstrong and Oliver parted amicably in 1924. It was time to divide and conquer, and Oliver knew that Armstrong was capable by himself. Armstrong formed his Hot Five and recorded his hits Potato Head Blues and Muggles. The word Muggles was a slang term for marijuana, something he used often during his life, which was illegal. Because he was a heavy marijuana smoker, he spent 9 days in jail in 1930 after being arrested for drug possession outside a club. Perhaps a light sentence, but when you are popular, it's okay. He described marijuana as 1,000 times better than whiskey. Armstrong would begin working on vocals, scat singing, and covers for songs, such as Stardust and Lazy River. He leveraged his rough voice and the fame he had already acquired to gain more power, doing some relatively simple and safe tasks. What is controversial is that Armstrong rarely even commented about injustices, such as racism. Armstrong moved around the country until 1943, when he would move to Queens, New York. However, he would continue to tour the world until his death. Louis Armstrong wrote an autobiography, but its truths are subject to debate. He is known for telling tales, particularly of his early childhood, when he was less scrutinized, and his embellishments of his history often lack consistency. He earned many popular awards throughout his life. Against his doctor's advice, still hoping to get back on the road, Armstrong died of a heart attack in his sleep on July 6, 1971. He was buried in Flushing Cemetery in Queens, New York City. Peggy Lee sang the Lord's Prayer at the services, while Al Hibbler sang Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, and Fred Robbins, a longtime friend, gave the eulogy.
Artists use life decisions to play on the sympathies of the audience and derive profits. Perhaps the life should matter little. What is important is that good music was made for the ears to hear. I'll see you next time.